911, where's your emergency?
The young man was just hit by a car.
Early intervention can make the difference.
I've already got them on the way.
To know that that help is not right around the corner,
We'll be there shortly.
that's not acceptable.
You're not meeting the standard response times.
Yeah, that was correct.
When lives are on the line, you want an ambulance fast. But Target 8 uncovered that for the last year. One of West Michigan's main ambulance providers, AMR, has not met response time standards in some of the most urgent calls.
It is a story Target 8 investigator Susan Samples is breaking tonight and asking what's being done to fix a lifeline delayed.
911, where's your emergency?
It was a postcard perfect afternoon last July.
The young man was just hit by a car.
I got a phone call.
Bob and Kay Marsman were both at work.
It was from the Kent County Sheriff.
Yeah, he's just laying right in the road in Byron Center Avenue.
And she told me that he had been hit by a car.
The Marsman's teenage son, Brendan, had gone for a run near their home north of Byron Center.
Living out there, I know that's 55, so I thought, right away, it's bad. It's a sinking feeling.
You're thinking all those things. Just, please, just let him still be okay.
Is he awake?
Yeah, he's moving.
It was one of the Marsman's neighbors who called 911.
He said that he actually was holding Brendan's head straight to wait for the ambulance to get there.
He needs to be looked at. He needs to get in an ambulance.
He said, yeah, it took way longer than what he thought.
I've already got them on the way. We'll be there shortly.
At the time of Brendan Marsman's accident, Byron Township was served primarily by AMR, American Medical Response, but the township did not have a contract holding AMR to specific response time standards. In Grand Rapids and several other Kent County towns, the standard for the highest priority medical call, a Med 1, in a suburban zone is just under 13 minutes. According to Byron Township fire records, AMR took 16 minutes and 18 seconds.
When you're talking minutes count, that could be a matter of life and death.
It took 16 and a half minutes for the ambulance to get there.
That sounds correct.
Is that okay?
Well, you know, we respond to about 45,000 transports every year.
John Robin admits when he took over as AMR's regional director last summer, the company was struggling.
I can say that before my time, we were not meeting our personal response times. We were not up to snuff, so to speak.
In fact, AMR's response to Med 1s in suburban zones were not its biggest problem. Records obtained by Target 8 show it had more trouble getting to Med 1s in urban zones. That's even in communities where it had a contract. Under the contract that covers Grand Rapids and several other Kent County towns, aggregate response times for AMR, Life, and Rockford Ambulance together must meet set standards 90% of the time, or the companies risk being fined. But records show for all of 2019, providers never reached 90% compliance for urban Med 1 calls. In the first 3 months of the year alone, in 90 such calls, ambulances took double or more the allowed response time of 9 minutes. In 13 of those calls, they took more than 30 minutes.
That's absolutely not acceptable.
Grand Rapids Fire Chief John Lehman says his firefighters, who are usually first on scene, were backed up and fed up waiting for AMR ambulances.
Firefighters out there that are working with these patients are dealing with a critical patient, and to know that that help is not like right around the corner, that becomes a very, very big frustration for them.
We certainly have not met the mustard up until now. We identified that proactively, put in measures, and have seen steady improvement.
AMR's John Robbins says his company now meets standards, but struggled last year due to the nationwide shortage of paramedics and EMTs who work tough jobs for relatively low pay. Robbins says in the past 6 months, AMR has added 52 employees with plans to hire 100 more and increased ambulances on the road daily from 10 or fewer to 14. AMR is also launching an Earn While You Learn program, which will pay people to get EMT certified and, when they're done, guarantee them full-time jobs with benefits.
We have made improvements. We see those improvements.
It's great that you're improving and that you're trying. I just want to make sure that we're fixing the problem and that it's not going to be something that recurs.
This is a long-term fix.
The last thing I remember is going to bed the night before it happened.
Back to last summer when 17-year-old Brendan Marsman was hit by a car near Byron Center and 72nd.
The biggest concern was the traumatic brain injury.
After 4 frightening days in the ICU, he began to wake up, and today he's near full recovery.
I feel pretty normal, I guess.
There's your watch. You see where the mirror broke.
Just seeing the photos, it's amazing.
After Brendan's accident, Byron Township made the switch from AMR to Life EMS and signed a contract that includes guaranteed response times.
It was an eye-opener for us.
The Marsmans were relieved to hear it.
You just don't know what you have
In Byron Township,
until it's so tenuous.
I'm Target 8 investigator Susan Samples.
100%.
AMR tells us it's now achieving the standard response time in 94% of urban priority 1 calls, which means it is currently in compliance.